Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. I don't know if I'm asking for advice. I'm just sad right now. Let me get this out of the way. I'm in group therapy, personal therapy and couples counseling. I don't talk to friends and family about my relationship because I'm not sure what is too much, what plants a bad seed, what people choose to hear. Me, 32F, SO31M. He leaves every time we have a fight. I think that's about once every 2 months. Tonight he left, leaving me feeling isolated and pretty abandoned. I wonder if I had somewhere to go, if it would be okay for me to do that. He says it would be. I imagine booking a hotel for a few days and staying there, forgetting all the things I could work on here. I don't know where to begin or where to end with this. I write the events down to bring up with our therapist, but those sessions are so short and there's so much to learn. I try not to call him because I know he won't answer. He'll come home when he's ready. The truth is, I've called 5 times. He said something that really hurt me and it left me feeling worried. It feels dark and gross. It makes me feel ashamed and hopeless. Maybe one day I'll write it down here, but I don't like knowing that someone's interpretation could be so entirely different. Then again, here I am, presenting a real viewer of my relationship. Tonight on my walk I worried that he was masturbating while I was gone. We don't have sex much, maybe 2 times a month, maybe once a week if I'm lucky. Sometimes I have it when I am not totally up for it because I don't know when it's coming again, like a wild animal or something, but less sexy. He asked if I was okay and I told him what I was thinking. It must have been a mistake. He was upset that I wasn't appreciative of what he had done around the house while I was gone. He said I should have chosen another time to share. He feels as though he's trying to be a great boyfriend and it's not pleasing me. I feel bad for mentioning that I was worried. I truly don't mind masturbation, but not if it replaces intimacy. Anyway, I know it was just a thought of mine. I should have let it go. But I really just want sex. He got angry and said he didn't like what was going on, so he left. I seem to have no filter or tactful timing when it comes to what's on my mind, like someone who learned to be a human in a rush. Now he's gone and I think that I should have just said thanks for helping out, and saved my thoughts for later. Ran to him in his car in my socks before he drove away, just wanted a hug. I said I love you and he drove off. I got a hug through the car window. I told him I was desperate to make it work tonight. I didn't want the fight to drag us down. But it was too late by then. Now I've said, I'm desperate for intimacy and us, but probably all in the wrong words and probably all at the wrong time, and I'm feeling pretty pathetic. He said I was acting childish. I could see that. I was pleading like a child. I feel like I've stepped back in time. I thought that I had evolved. No answer on his end, just want to make peace before bed. I suppose I'll wait one last time. Just sad. But anyway. Any of you ever found out your SO has a coke habit? Never have violated his privacy before by accessing his phone. However, I did this weekend and it was enough for me to see that he's got at least 2 dealers he buys from. I know coke for sure, but maybe MDMA or tabs too. He had a couple dealers ask for him to pay the tab by the end of last February, think it was around $650. He has a functioning problem. Steady job, consistent friends, and we live together, so there's always food in the fridge and clean clothes. We've had issues before of him taking drugs, also doing some things that really hurt me without my knowledge. I'm always the detective that finds out the truth, which is a pretty clear sign this isn't good. We got a therapist back in August. It was my ultimatum. Thought we were working on things, but things didn't feel right after a while. He needs a lot of space to just drive around and be alone, can't spend one solid day at the house with me, or running errands. I've been less of a good person because I've gotten angrier and have focused on the minor details of what he could be doing better. Perhaps because I knew something was bothering me but was in serious denial. I just wanted it to work out. I just wanted a family, I guess. Maybe one day a proposal. I love him so much. I took some screenshots of the texts and sent it to myself. I sent them to his mother. She met with him and I'm not sure what they discussed, but she informed the rest of his family and now he's pissed at me. I didn't handle it with tact. He said I wasn't making any friends by doing it. I just reacted out of fear and shock. I was in shock. Building trust back was hard and we started working on that 7 months ago. I didn't even have it yet but kept reminding myself that it's possible to come out of the dark together and we can do it. These secret snacks are far more consistent than I had known. Seems it hasn't wound down. He keeps bringing up the ways in which I breached his trust by going on his phone and how I've hurt him. I take responsibility for those things but my apologies don't ever have the right tone and they're not good enough. I don't think I ever forgave him from some things that happened last year. Maybe it feeds into my actions. The things that I struggle with I know can be worked through as a couple. Unfortunately, I have no idea how to handle someone who has a partially secret life. Add to that, a secret life that puts them at risk. I don't know what to do. We have an appointment scheduled with our therapist on Wed morning. I think I'm in the camp of 80% leaving this relationship. I've been talking to people with similar experiences. To me it sounds like this is toast. I want him to feel unashamed of himself and deserving of a clean, drug-free and beautiful life. If it means I need to leave, while it would hurt so much to see him get there without me, I'd love to be there. Maybe that's not realistic. Anyone share a similar experience? How'd it end up for you? He is gaslighting you. I can't believe you'd break my trust to go find out about the secret hard drug habit I'm hiding from you. How could you? Really? You're feeling bad for finding out your so is spending $650 on pills, drugs. Wow. I won't even get into the he did some other stuff that I disliked because I assume it entails cheating in some form. He said I wasn't making any friends by doing it, I didn't handle it with tact. You notice how he's just so mad about how you found out about his secret drug addiction and told his loved ones. Because you're not making friends by outing him? This is called manipulation. I'd be out of there for the secret hard drug habit that he clearly isn't even tactful enough to admit he has. He's rather gaslight his concerned GF about the methods of how she uncovered the truth when he had a history of being shady. Yikes and a half. Yes. I left my ex because of this. I became the villain after detoxing him I don't know how many times. I planted the drugs, I was lying, I was doing it too, I have never done it. The gaslighting became insane. When he wasn't using, he was the most amazing person. I decided I couldn't live like that anymore, and kicked him out. I still love him, but I can't be with him. It's taken me a few years to be able to be in a relationship again, but it was worth it. Trying to uncover red flags. Rant. Hey all, I've been here before. Brace yourselves, this is a long one and it's mostly for my own sanity. About a week ago my 32F boyfriend, 31M, broke up with me because he couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take it when he'd be out until 4 AM and I'd call, or I'd worry about why he needed to go to the grocery store for an hour and a half when I'd just bought food. Or, most recently, how he'd need to be at the gym from 4 to 7, then always have beers with friends until 8 or 9, and I just wanted some quality time. He cheated on me at the beginning of our relationship, I had to pull it out of him. We had an argument and he went back to his place for space. Turns out the girl he had sex with was casually there drinking beers with his roommate, along with his ex. I asked why he thought it was a good idea to invite her knowing they had sex while we were together. He said he felt bad for her because she didn't have many friends and his ex didn't even like her much either. Laughable, right? We went to therapy and it felt like he really wanted to be a man of integrity. Several good months go by and old habits slip back up. He never unlocked his phone, nor added names to numbers. He was also doing secret bumps of cocaine at the most random times, like for instance, in the bathroom at my sister's when we were relaxing and watching a movie. I kissed him and tasted it in his beard. He denied it and I went into the bathroom, swiped my finger on the counter and told him I knew he was lying. Fast forward 8 months, and I was able to get on his phone when he had left it open and found at least 2 dealers he was meeting on more than a monthly basis with, and he had a running dab. The guy lives a secret life, you know the story. I'm here because it's been 1 week. Feels like a month. He left me because I was too much. His mother said I was deeply unhappy and dragging him down. She consoled him by saying I had a lot to work on and he had matured past me, and I was immature, I assume because I didn't trust him, and that I'm going to continue ruining my relationships. That really hit me in the sweet spot, because she's right. If I accept behavior like this I will continue ruining my relationships as I'll never get a chance to have an authentic one. I'm doing a lot of self-blaming. What if I had just let it go? Maybe some things really aren't that big of a deal and I've overreacted. I slapped him in the face when I saw a message come in from Tinder. He tried to run to his mother's and I chased him down with my car and yelled at him. I was the crazy girl. I'm doing a pretty good job at this point practicing forgiveness for myself and not him, but it takes work. Now I replace, I should have let that go with I should have broken up with him. I would have been in control of my emotions and likely less insane. I take responsibility for how I reacted, and I want to be a better person to others starting with myself and being secure with my boundaries. When he left me I apologized for all the ways in which I've hurt him, or stunted his growth and spirit. As a partner, it's important that the one I love feels free and can come back home to love. So I wanted him to know how I regret not giving that environment to him. I know now that's pretty twisted of me to consider. What's helped me is writing down the incongruities and suspicions I've had and realizing how deeply wounding and traumatizing they were for me, especially when some were met with the truth, and the truth harmed me. It helps me to feel angry, which is super cathartic. And it helps me to realize he was never really honest and would likely have tried to get away with even more if we tried to make it work. Here are just a couple. Summer 2020, I wanted to hang out with him after work. He said he'd loop me in and I was invited to what he would be doing, which never happened. I was really looking forward to it. I texted and called, several hours went by. Finally he answered, he had snuck away from the group. He was at a pool with friends, so I asked if I could join and he said they were all just wrapping up and he'd be back in a bit. When he came home he was mad that I was bummed. He said he didn't want to ruin the vibe by having to break things up to come let me in. I later discovered a girl named Kiva was there. They had slept together quite a bit through the course of our relationship. Note to self, red flags are usually never wrong. Blowing me off to visit my sister, because I was so excited to introduce them, to drink with his ex, who is strictly a platonic friend. He didn't tell me that night they were hanging out. He said he just wanted to hang back with his ex. Okay. He felt guilty later and I dragged that one out of him. We'd planned to see each other around 7 to 8 p.m., and he'd show up at 12:30 a.m. or 1 because he didn't keep track of time well. A little inconsiderate considering I was already in bed. When on a vacation with myself and his mom, a message from Bumble popped up on his phone, "You've received a message." I questioned him about it and he was so angry because he was at the beach with me and his mother. It's just so absurd. She thought I was overreacting. I believed them, but still wanted an explanation. It took him 4 days to come up with an excuse. He wanted to show a friend from work a picture of him climbing, which is basically just a picture of his face, and Bumble was the only place he had it. I asked for the Slack conversation he was referring to, it had been conveniently deleted. And lastly, 4 months prior he said he had entirely deactivated his Bumble account. Can't even lie right. I'll end it with this as it's the most recent realization for me. He and his ex shared a friend group and had a platonic relationship. It made me feel uncomfortable, so I had some rules. I meet her, we try to all hang out in a group, don't see her alone, And if you do see her or she reaches out, please let me know. He seemed to agree to those rules, except when she'd show up in his life and he wouldn't tell me because he wanted to avoid confrontation. If an ex is platonic and a friend, why would she send a friend of hers over to collect some of her things, then post on social media that she stole something back from an ex? Then, 8 months later, I discover that they've been texting. He sends her photos of a pool table and says he misses when they used to play together. She says they'll have to go get dinner sometime. The dynamic seems oddly confused. Mostly the ex, as she seems to not know what she wants. Oh wait, he doesn't, either. So, there you have it. I'm moving from sad and apologetic to angry, and it's good for me. Edit, what I recognize in myself today is that I am a quality woman. I'm dedicated, faithful, willing to work through hard times, willing to look inward, and honest about who I am. He has told me otherwise, and today I don't believe him for the first time. I'm proud of myself for that. Life will be better. The word you are looking for is resolve. Shift the anger into resolve that you will remember what you wrote about yourself at the end of your post and never compromise your standards or boundaries for anyone again. I know it is tough now, but you have got this. Reach out or vent anytime. Do not think too much about it, because it will affect your health and it will not really help to understand, such as move on and find a new partner. His mother said I was deeply unhappy and dragging him down. She consoled him by saying I had a lot to work on and he had matured past me, and I was immature, I assume because I didn't trust him, and that I'm going to continue ruining my relationships. Saying this because admitting she raised a trash human being for a son would be too much for herself. Support group recommendations. Advice. Hello. I'm not sure if this is appropriate to post here, so please lead me in the right direction if not. About 2 weeks ago I was broken up with by a cheater and liar. With someone who generally lacks integrity and self-control. More about that here. All things considered, I'm doing pretty well. I left the house with 2 shirts, 2 pairs of pants, my work computer, and some toiletries, and I'm staying with my sister and her husband and 2 sweet dogs. I've done a lot of work to understand why I didn't feel worthy of respect, love, and why I put up with this. I used to think it was because I'm a deeply empathetic person and understood his wounds, his mistakes and the reason for his actions. While true, I'm doing the work to recognize that I need to value and love myself a lot more to avoid future toxic relationships. I've been taking daily walks, listening to podcasts, meeting with my therapist, went to my first virtual coder meeting yesterday, and am reading and journaling. I am so grateful to have a safe place to stay and the resources available. I thank myself for surrounding myself with these resources, and reaching out to family and friends for much needed support. May the journey continue. I would love to have an in-person, COVID-safe, community I can connect with and discuss these traumas with, share resources and be positive guides together. I'm wondering if anyone knows where I can find any of these groups. I am currently in Austin. I may remove my location in about 24 hours as it feels odd to share. This is the part I wasn't sure about sharing, just asking for local resources. Anything helps. Stay strong, y'all. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are,